it was such a shock because we came from such a good place, but then it landed flat.
Okay, welcome Megan to The Other F Words. Now, just to give you a bit of context, in The Other F Words, right, this conversation, we'll talk about what is your favorite campaign. You know, we'll dissect it a bit like surgeons, and then we will come to a conclusion together, whether it was fresh or a failure.
My name is Megan Yulga. I'm the head of creative shop for Circles.Life. I am fabulous. I take fear head on, and I don't give a F.
Very nice. So you're fearless, fabulous, but don't give a starts with a D, so... Okay, thanks for the super quick introduction. So, did you have another favorite campaign that you'd like to share?
I do have a favorite campaign. I think this campaign was probably one of the hardest for us to implement, and it was the most risky, and I learned the most from it. This campaign was for a mobile application called Discover. The nature of the product was finding events. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to ask somebody out on a billboard to one of the events. And when you downloaded the app, you went through a process where you could find an activity. So it was teaching you how to use the app. You could find an activity and then ask somebody to go with you. And then we would put that up on a billboard around Singapore. Well, true to our words, we did do that. And I'll never forget what it said. It said, at Eunice Olsen, would you rather go to the French Film Festival with me or French Kiss?
Wow.
Or something along those lines. Unbeknownst to me, Eunice Olsen is actually like this very big advocate of women's rights in Singapore. And she took offense to this. And it became a huge media thing, and people online were really rallying around her. And I think like on a brand and a marketing level, it was such a shock because we came from such a good place, but then it landed flat. And it was such a good learning experience for me because, I mean, our mission is to give power to the people, and she felt like we took her power away. Like that was my whole thing was no. Like if she is not excited about this and we're using her name and everything, then we need to take it down. And because of it, so many learnings about how we handle user-generated content came from it. But ultimately, the campaign did really successful. We got a lot of downloads, and it was successful, but it had that huge learning moment of really doing due diligence, as well as like who we are as a brand and how we operate.
Okay. But if I were to have tweeted at Eunice Olsen, right? Would you rather go to the French Film Festival with me or eat French fries with me? Would that have been better?
No.
I try, guys.
From a content perspective, it would not have been so misaligned with her. But from a personal learning from that situation, I should have reached out to her first. So that would have been the first course of action that now we do.
So at least you have more control of things that might not be in your control. Would you say that right now you actually achieved from that campaign itself, was it fresh or was it a failure?
Just at a campaign level, are you thinking? Or at a product level?
Good question. The asker doing the ask. Okay, I would say maybe let's talk about from a campaign level.
Yeah, from a campaign level, I would say very fresh. I hit all of my PR objectives. One of the biggest things was we did the same thing, but we asked out a celebrity. I'm completely blanking on his name, but the main character in...
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
Henry Goulding.
Yes.
Henry Goulding, yeah.
I remember I saw that.
We called him out, and that sparked massive word of mouth and talkability, and that really helped me hit all of the objectives from a PR perspective and from a social and word of mouth perspective. So in that respect, yes, definitely.
Fresh.
Definitely fresh.
But from a product perspective?
From a product perspective, I think that it was so new, and it was really what we call product market fit finding. I think we put it as such a big bet, and to this day, we still treat it as an experiment. So in terms of learning from it and pivoting really quickly and having fun with it, super fresh. In terms of us incorporating that into our priority focuses, failure. It ended up not being as big of a revenue generator as we had thought it would be, but it ended up being a huge community builder, which is really part of our core, part of our pillar, is giving power back to the customers. I feel like a broken record. I keep saying the same things over and over again, but giving them that other layer of like life, you know, is really what we're going for.
How did that actually push you to do better?
I think that like it honestly gave me personally the confidence to keep pushing buttons. You know, you would look at a situation like that and be like, I'm going to avoid ever doing UGC again or something like that. But I'm like, no, how can I do UGC better, right? Like, so, and I think that failure is so important. Like, the more you do, the more you figure out what doesn't work, essentially, which means you know what works because you know what not to do. And you only do that the more you do. And this campaign was really that like, hey, the company backs me, the company supports me, my team supports me, this is part of the learning journey, and everyone was aligned with that. So I was like, how can I push it further?
So in summary, you know, your UGC campaign for the Discover function in your app.
Yeah.
Campaign level, it was fresh. Product level, it was a failure, but it was definitely a good learning point, not only for yourself, but most possibly on an organizational level. No one is ever successful like at a flick of a finger. So many F words, I love it. Flick of a finger, you know, but you know, is there any last parting wise words of wisdom that are wise, you know?
Whenever you're feeling icky, like sad or something, you're mad or frustrated, like that's a warning sign that something's not going well in your life, right? But then if you're too happy, sometimes it clouds you where you're stuck being too present and you're not able to move forward, right? There's balances. You have to have everything. You have to have every emotion in your brand, in your product. You have to be able to take it and say, what is the balance that is gonna suit me in my life or suit me in my brand? You can't skip around it and only have the happy comments and the happy emotions. You have to think about it holistically. That's how you will succeed.
Well, with that, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation, and I'm pretty sure that wherever you're gonna go in life, you are gonna f***ing fly.
You did it! Seriously? Hey, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I tried my best.